Guess who's back? Back again. Devi's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Da, him. Da, da. Oh boy. So I know this is supposed to be Jank Bank, but I was not expecting things to go as well as they did. Oh boy. Okay, so just to be fair, my round one opponent was playing a fun deck that she hasn't upgraded in a bit. My round two opponent did brick, but my round three opponent, he goes to a lot of like regionals and things like that, and that is his favorite Digimon with the newest upgrades. So he may not have used every card entirely correctly, but I believe during the game we called out most of our own misplays. All right. Uh, Cons. Once again, the deck has kind of an identity crisis. All right, and Bandai, I am going to speak to you directly, John. Please, for me, buddy. Do we trash from hand? Are we trashing from our opponent's hand? Are we trashing until there's 10 in trash? Are we trashing from our own deck? Okay? What are we doing here? Okay, just pick something, please. That's all I'm asking. I just don't feel like it's a big ask, but it's a necessary one because uh, there are other tech cards that are good options for this, but not for everything, okay? Devimon's entire identity cannot be I'm going to screw over someone. It might as well be myself. Please, John. But this is the most fun that I've had with a Devimon deck since BT5. Uh, for those of you that don't know, during BT5, I played a Don Devimon deck and never lost a single match to any Lord Nightmon. And there was every tournament had somewhere between 2 and 6 Lord Nightmon players, and I went to 2 tournaments a week for like a month and just didn't lose. All right, they were locals, sure, but it was insane. Okay, Don Devimon was insane, and this deck worked way better than I thought it could. All right. Uh, so so now let's just really think about this. Um, Definitely, this combo right here of Promo Demi Devimon and Neo Devimon putting out two Devimons per turn is amazing. Okay, this is the primary combo of the deck. All right, this guy, uh, the EX6 Demi Devimon, 100% gets you where you want to be for that specific play. The EX6 or EX10. Oh, sorry, excuse me. EX10 Demi Devimon, EX10 Devimon. These two guys get the amount of cards in trash that you want. Okay, very good. Um, Devimon. Oh, what is this one? BT14 Devimon. This is the one that gains DP dependent on how many cards are in trash. I like this. I think that this is making this the muscle of the deck was a good call, and I think it worked out pretty well. I can understand if you want to cut some cards. I'd say dropping it down to 2 might be okay, just so that you can have a little bit more room but I still want to say that I think as an accelerator to get you the amount of Devimon in trash that you need, I think it works great and should probably be kept up there. Um, the rivals barrages, those I was honestly iffy about when I was putting the deck together. I believe they were supposed to be death slingers, or at least mostly death slingers. I thought that gaining the extra memory would probably be the most helpful thing, but especially against Jessamon, they were pretty pivotal in that game, and being able to recycle them with Beelzemon Blast Mode Ace was great. Being able to just kind of use them in whatever way I needed to, whenever I needed to, was very helpful. Throwing out throwing out the Neo Devimons to take hits was great. Um, Honestly, tearing down my opponent's hand, it didn't work out too well against Jessmon. He drew a huge amount of cards, and I could not slow that down. I don't think I had the right pieces. Once again, this is why I think this deck needs a little bit more. It needs more focus. Are we attacking the deck? Are we attacking the hand? That's it. That's the question. We need to, like, Devimon needs to focus on one or the other and then just rip it apart. Okay? Now, I get that against certain matchups, if you're going up against Beelzemon and you're just discarding from their deck, that's not going to be very helpful, except if you so since they're discarding from deck and you're discarding from deck, honestly at that point, it is a race that you have there's a brick wall at the end of that's a little bit over the finish line. If they don't pull the brakes fast enough, then you're going to win because they're going to, be in a brick wall. All right? And that's honestly, I believe that they'll figure it out pretty quickly. Um, Darkwing Delusions, I'm also not sure on. When I used it, it was very useful. It was a perfect card for the moment, and uh, getting the extra hits in was nice. However, I don't know if this is the perfect card for the slot. And once again, what happens when I discard this? Okay, if I trash it from deck, it does nothing. If I trash it from hand, it does nothing. John, please, please, he's my boy. He's my favorite. Pick one. Pick something. Let him do things. All right. He's the villain from the first anime. This is where I came into this whole series, man. Come on. This is what got me into this card game. Okay, please, man. Just I don't care about him being top meta. I promise. I just want him to be okay. Look at my boy. Look at how much aura he's got. Like, damn, okay? They like the Don Devimon alt arts are always amazing because it's what you get the first alt art is Venom. This one is Spawn. I can't remember who this is supposed to be based off of, but it still looks awesome. All right. Let's see who's Kisuke. Great job. Gosen. Awesome job. All right. John needs to give you guys a bonus or something. Okay. But like I said, this worked out so much better than what I thought. And the only issue in my mind is really he needs to have a focused plan that isn't just my opponent cannot have cards. Okay, and even then, the trashing playstyle doesn't really go that far. Um, your levels 3, 4, and 5, all three have the same problem of do you does your opponent have 6 cards in hand? Congratulations. That's it. They've done it. They have 6 cards. Not doing anything anymore. Do they have more than 10 cards in trash? Okay, well, you're getting the secondary effect, but you're not damaging them in any way. Hopefully that helps. All right, trashing the top of both players' decks. Um, Honestly, I think I might have forgotten about this during game. I think I glazed over it, but yeah, this is honestly after this might be episode 3. You might see this deck again before the end of November. This was amazing. And okay, last thing. Why doesn't Devimon have a level 7? Okay, like I'm just saying, you know, Nyan Bootmon is out there. Dulahamon is here. Apocalypse gets a couple of things. Just make it up. He's super Don Devimon or something. I know it's supposed to be done. You know, I know Daniel doesn't necessarily need a full thing, but I don't know, punished Devimon or super Don Devimon or something like that. Some level 7 would be pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. This was an awesome card that worked exactly how I was hoping it would. And Jacob, if you're watching this far in, thanks for reminding me about this. This was almost a one of the new Demi Devimon promo, and while I think the main time that I used it in the Jessamon fight, I believe my last security was also a they were both rivals barrages, like 3 rivals barrages, and security was insane. I don't know how that happened, but so that maybe wouldn't have hurt too bad, but at the same time, having this as an option and helping me keep at least a little bit of security was great. Okay, this was fantastic. I didn't deck out because of this card. I was able to remove protections from my opponent because of this card. It was fantastic. Okay. That's going to be, I guess, it for this week for Jank Bank. Or, I mean, I don't even know if this would classify as Jank anymore. Jeez, like I'm sure there's plenty of decks that would absolutely have wrecked me, but this didn't feel as awkward or bad as the normal Jank cards do. Uh, And like I said, there's plenty that somebody could do to upgrade this deck. If you find some space for Death Slingers, that could be helpful. Finding uh, Ian Mako might be a useful tamer as opposed to the mats, because since uh, Matt only cares about discarding from hand. So, like this guy and a couple of others, but that's fine. The Iron Mako would get you more hand filtering, as well as it would make the rivals and death slingers that you actually draw more useful. You'd be able to put, and because they only care about when you digivolve. So I believe you can digivolve, draw, and then put the card on top. So if you were to like digivolve into this Devimon, for example, um, you could get the memory back and then swing in to trash whatever it was that you put up there. Um, lot of Beelzemon support goes in can go into this if you wanted to build it more towards the trashing from hand side. Sunomon is going to be an obvious choice for your egg. You trash from hand, draw a card. Um, oh, why can't I think of it? There's a uh, there's a 4 cost option. Return from Underworld. I want to say that's what it is. Um, 4 costs, you play it, and you can play out a level 4 Digimon from trash for free, who could also trash from your deck. Um, but also, if you trash it from hand, you draw a card, so it replaces itself. Um, that could be very useful for once again keeping hand advantage as well as gaining other effects. Matt would probably work out better in that specific build of the deck. You can have Nidhoggmons to gain extra memory. You could run Pummelwhack, I believe, does some extra removal if you trash it from hand. Um, and also, of course, there's like certain some of the you don't have to if you don't want to do completely tribal. Obviously, Wizardmon helps out if you're trashing from deck, whereas Ogremon helps out if you're trashing from hand. All right, I think after playing this deck, I think there's a lot of potential here. I do recall that a few months back somebody was playing uh, Don Devimon with before EX10 came out, and they were running things like Barbamon in it to help discard from your opponent's hand and get rid of that 6th card, which is it's sticky. It's hard to get rid of in the deck because the only thing that trashes these two are the only things that trash from your opponent's hand without that kind of restriction. And the BT4 Don Devimon needs to be deleted for that to happen. So he would need to either come out on your opponent's turn and then swing on your turn, or be removed by your opponent, who at that point knows that you need 5 or less for a lot of your effects and knows that they're going to be trashing. This one, if it's you have to delete first, and then if you don't delete, that's when you get to trash. So there's that little hiccup. Um, all in all, like I said, it felt so great. It worked so well, and I really can't believe that. Um, and yeah, I look forward to revisiting this deck and playing it some more. So if you want to see that, get in the comments below, like the video, share it, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. If you have any suggestions for the next Jank Bank, go ahead and let me know. Once again, get in the comments. I try to do these at least once a month, and it's just kind of suggesting any card, usually like a level 6 or an archetype or something like that, and just let me know what you think would be a cool thing to just workshop a little bit and then just play. No practice, no nothing. All right. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.